Okay, in today's video I'm going to be repairing a tear in a leather sofa, or part of a leather sofa. This is actually the panel that was on the front of an old sofa. It's got a small tear in it with a ragged edge, and we're going to attempt to make that as invisible as possible using a few cheap materials available on Amazon, and I'll link to those in the description below, so if you want to know prices etc, just click on them. But fairly cheap and give a decent result. Okay, without further ado, get on with it. Okay, the first part to repair a tear is to see how the torn part fits back into the hole, to see if you've got any missing leather. Quite often with a tear you'll get actual pieces of leather missing, but we're just going to put it back in and see how this fits. And that's not bad actually. That's pretty complete. It's a little bit round, a little bit missing there, which may or may not be an issue. There's some scuffing on the tear itself, where whatever caused it has scuffed the top of the leather as it's gone into it. But we'll sort that out. So first of all, we're gonna glue that back into place. Now you can't just glue around the edge because there's not enough area to bond to the main part of the leather. There just won't be anything to stick to. If you're trying to repair false leather or faux leather or pretend leather or vinyl leather, it's you're going to need a different glue to this, but again I'll link to the type of glue that you need in the description below. So first of all, we've got to reinforce the area under there, and to do that we're going to use a cotton patch cut a bit bigger than the tear area, and put that underneath and glue the flap of leather back down over it. So the first thing to do is get that patch inside the leather. Sort of push it into the hole against the foam, and the foam sort of springs it back. Make sure it's nice and flat. You don't want to see the edge of the patch through the leather. So I think that's got it. Okay, so now we can just put some glue on that. With the vinyl leather glue, it's more of a contact adhesive, and if you get it on the front, you've got to wipe it away pretty quickly. Okay, so I've got plenty of glue on the patch, got glue on the back of the flap, and now I'm just going to use my finger to, there we go, and I'm just going to put that on there. Only takes a few minutes to dry. It actually, you can use your hand because the heat of your hand will help dry it. If you're on a vertical surface, obviously you can't do this, in which case you'd have to use your palm. So I'll leave that and we'll come back to that in a second. Okay, so I've left that for about 5 minutes or however long it takes to make a cup of brown, and let's have a look. You can see obviously there is a scar there, but if this was on the back of a sofa or on the side of a sofa, you're looking down, would you bother to do any more to it? Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, there is more you can do to it to make it less visible, and we'll do that now. Just to show that, again, it's not very obvious on the camera, but there's a little bit of a dullness around where the glue is squeezed. That'll come off pretty much with a damp finger. And who hasn't got a damp finger tan? So it's all reinforced. sound repair. But let's make it more invisible, because the edge where it was ragged, there are gaps. There is obviously a repair there. Let's crack on. Okay, part 2 is filling those holes, and to do that use a filler. So let's go about now repairing these areas. Okay, for this I'm using filler paste. Okay, and as with everything, the links are in the description. The secret with this is to use as little as possible, get it in the gaps, and only use a little bit at a time, and dry each layer before moving on to the next layer. This really shouldn't take much. Remember to move both ways, so you're moving across that way with the leather, or across that way of the gap, and then back the other way. That way you'll fill both sides. Okay, the other tool that you'll need for this is a hairdryer. For one reason or another, I don't actually own a hairdryer, so I'm going to use a heat gun on its low setting. That's it. Obviously, another reason you take things to take weight. Maybe that'll do this. That's the first loading. Still feel the dents where the gaps are. Smoothing away the excess filler. This also gets rid of any fibres that may have been sticking out of the repair. The reason I did by the cut I'm drying it is if I burn that and I burn that, it's brutal but quite sensitive. It's getting there now. Okay, so we're almost there now. What I'm going to do is give it a little bit of pigment to see if there are any areas still requiring filling. So I'll put the pigment on and then check what it looks like. It's probably going to be that there's still areas that need some more filling. I'm dabbing on with a sponge. Again, minuscule amounts that you need. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. I think we're pretty much there or thereabouts. Certainly unnoticeable, and much better than it was when it was torn, obviously, and it's much better than when it was just glued. So, is it invisible? No. Is it unnoticeable? Yes. If you didn't know where it was, I think you wouldn't be able to find it on your average sofa or car seat. £100, about $130 or something like that, I would think. Okay, so that's the leather repair. Neat job, fairly quick to do, certainly cheap enough to do. All the links for all the bits and bobs that have been used are in the description down below. Thanks for watching, and click the like button if you liked it. Thank you, bye.